We've got a first look of the Mazda CX-50 Hybrid. I know you've been waiting for this, and I'm absolutely thrilled that Mazda is offering a hybrid option.
All right, so in this video, we're going to go through all the different trims. Andrew's going to show you that on the inside. At the end of the video, we're going to give the pricing, which is very compelling, the fuel economy, all of that. Just want to let you know, this is a walk around video. The full review of the driving impressions will be coming out. What day is it?
Yeah, November 12th.
If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe and you'll see that pop up when the video is released. So this, my friends, it says Mazda or Mazda on there. It is not.
Okay, well, first off, let's say what it is. It's a 2.5 liter hybrid powertrain. It has 3 electric motors and a 1.59 kilowatt hour battery.
That sounds a lot to me like a RAV4.
Yes, it's matched to an eCVT and gets a combined 219 horsepower, standard electronic all-wheel drive.
So I did refer to it a moment ago. So you would think that they would use Mazda's 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. It was just way easier for them to plug and play the RAV4 hybrid system into this configuration. So everything you see powertrain wise is from Toyota. And if you're not aware, Toyota has part ownership in Mazda.
And just like Toyota, there is no combined torque number available to us, if you're wondering about that.
Now, typically when you have a gas model and then you have a hybrid, the body of the car is the same. They just changed the powertrain because this is borrowed from Toyota and they had to plumb it in this new CX-50. They actually had to make structural changes to this car. The body itself is 1.4 inches higher than the gasoline model. That gives it a slightly different silhouette, less of a wagon, more of a traditional crossover vehicle. Now, to basically hide that fact, what they did to trick the eye is they made the cladding on the side of the vehicle just a little bit thicker. So when you look at it, you go, that's a CX-50. It would only be if you put 2 of them together, you would notice the difference. Now, there is a positive because of this. People who have trouble getting in and out of a low vehicle, you're going to benefit because the seats have been raised up to make room for the battery, which is under the rear seat. That's why all this engineering was done, to make the hybrid system fit.
Standard features on this hybrid model include hybrid badging, LED headlamps, body-colored door handles. You get 17-inch black wheels, available 19-inch, which you see on our test model, that are black and machine cut. So you get a little bit of brightness there. There's also available black roof rails, available black dual exhaust tips. Standard is chrome, and you get a temporary spare tire.
Available features include an auto-dimming rear view mirror, power folding exterior mirrors, and LED rear combination lights. Andrew is going to show you in a second all the features on the inside. And I just want to point out one thing. All our camera gear's in here, including the tripod. The camera's on now. And that's my little test to see how big the back is. And my tripod fits sideways across here. So this is very long and has a lot of space, and Andrew mentioned it already, a spare tire. So I think overall functionality is a win.
Now we're going to do a bit of a deep dive into the interior. There's a couple differences between the gas model and the hybrid. First off, you get a new shifter in the hybrid. Secondly, there is a power meter on the driver display. So it shows one side to be charging and the other side whether you're using the gas or the engine. Now, all of the charging is done through regen braking for a hybrid. So it will show you when you are in charge mode, which is kind of cool. Now, this comes standard with a 10.25-inch display and wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and I'm thrilled about that because finally it is standard. Now, whether you plug your phone in or you use the wireless connectivity, this becomes a touch screen for you at all speeds, not just when you are parked. Now, it does sit a little bit further back, so of course, you still have the dial at the center console, which is a nice feature if you don't want to get any sort of fingerprints on the touchscreen. I use both of them when I'm driving. I always use the dial. Storage in here is quite good. You've got this storage unit here, and then also you can open it up on 2 sides. The The wireless charger is quite small. Zach, pass me along your phone. Zach has got
The
an
biggest phone.
exceptionally large phone. Now it does
I thought you were going to say exceptionally large something else, but anyway, go ahead.
Let's not go there. This is a family-friendly show. So take a look at his phone. It is big. Mine fits nicely in there, but it's good to know that a big one. But if I remove it, you can see that it really is a small area.
So this is an S24 Ultra.
You've got 2 cup holders here and then another little storage tray. So instead of getting into what this top trim comes with, which is what we're driving, let's go back and talk a bit about the standard features. And I have to say in Canada, this comes really well equipped. In the US, you do get less standard features than we get. So standard panoramic sunroof with a sunshade. It doesn't open all the way. It opens to about here, just like the regular CX-50. We already talked about the screens, so the 10.25-inch screen and the 7-inch driver display.
So that's the only screen, right?
That is the only screen.
And I just want to say one thing, Andrea. So you get a bit panel roof. You're saying that's standard equipment.
Standard equipment
Yeah,
in Canada. In the US, one up from the base model.
Okay, so one thing I just want to point out, on the Toyota side, on the RAV4, there is no panel roof in Canada at all. And it comes standard on this, so that's cool.
That's a really big deal. In the US, for the RAV4, there is a panoramic sunroof, but you have to add it as an option on the top trim. Other features that are standard, a heated steering wheel, heated front seats, a power driver seat, a manual passenger seat. It's 4-way. This one in this model is a power passenger seat, and you get a height adjustment,
All right,
which is
so
really nice.
we've talked a lot about the CX-50 seats. Now, we haven't had a lot of time in this one today, but they tell us there's no change to the seats, right?
There's no change to the seats. This passenger seat, I sat in both. I find that the seat is a little bit short and it doesn't offer me as much thigh support, and the seats are a little bit firmer. On the driver's side, there is an adjustment, so I can raise this part up where my thighs are, the bottom of my thighs, and that does make it a little bit more comfortable. No change in the seat, so it's the exact same as the gas model.
One thing people complained about was this, ribbing down the middle. And some other YouTubers made silly comments about, anyway, I won't say what they said, but they just said, oh, you feel it. I'm here to tell you, you do not feel that when you're sitting in the seat.
Yeah, there is absolutely no feeling of that. And I think it's kind of cool looking because it almost looks like a baseball mitt stitching. So standard, it is leatherette upholstery for Canada. In the US, it's kind of a leatherette cloth combo. And then as you move up to higher trims, available leather. And this one, you can get it in black in Canada, but there's also the option of terracotta. Unfortunately, in the US, for our US viewers, the terracotta is not an option. And then red as well. So you've got a few different colors to choose from depending on the trim.
So is terracotta the same as the gas model?
That's right.
I like that. And this is, you know, this sort of stuff here with the detail on the dash pad with that baseball or the hanging stitch, I can't remember what they call it, but you just don't see that in a lot of mainline cars. Now this is the top trim, but still, it's nice detail.
And I think that's it with Mazda. They know how to make beautiful interiors, and sometimes they blur the lines between non-luxury and premium with their interior feel. It does feel more upscale and sophisticated for sure than something like the RAV4. You've also got plenty of buttons in here to choose from, which is a treat when we see a lot of manufacturers going straight to everything being in the screen. Now, the top trim in Canada comes with a 12-speaker Bose sound system. Standard is an 8-speaker audio system. In the US, you can add that Bose sound system to the middle trim. You don't have to wait until the top trim. Other standard features include the wireless charger as well as a power liftgate. And of course, iSense safety technology is standard.
All right, I just want to go through some of these things, Andrea. So you're telling me in Canada, the panel roof and a power tailgate are standard?
Yes.
Plus the big screen?
Yes.
That's nice.
There's a lot of value here, even on the base model. If you don't have the budget to go to the middle trim or to the top trim, you're still going to find that you're getting a lot of features in the base model. The power passenger seat starts on the middle trim as well as driver seat memory. Now, if you're going to get the top dog and go for this top trim, that's where you're going to find the 360 camera, front and rear parking sensors, ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, and a head-up display. I have some unfortunate news for our US viewers. There are some features that you do not get at all in the CX-50 Hybrid.
I want to know. What are they?
Heated steering wheel, front and rear parking sensors, a 360 camera, and heated rear seats.
So that's all the stuff you just listed on the top trim.
I know.
Not available at all.
No.
Okay. Underneath here is where the battery lives, and you do notice it is a little higher when you step in and out. One thing you notice about the CX-50, whether it's the gas or the hybrid, the belt line is rather high. You notice it more in the front seat than you do here in the back seat. Other nice features, you've got vents, which is not common in this class of vehicle. You've got heated rear seats available, and you also have USB-C ports at the back. So the back seat, not a bad place to be. So we're going to do the fuel economy and the pricing. One thing we want to say on pricing, there's less trims of the CX-50 compared to the RAV4. A slight price premium for this vehicle, but as Andrea went through just a moment ago, you get a lot of stuff in this that you might not get on all those trims of RAV4.
Absolutely. 3 trims available, so let's get into the pricing. We'll do Canada first, and then we'll move on to the US. The base model starts at just under $43,000. The middle trim is just under $45,000, and the top trim just over $48,000 Canadian. In the US, the base model starts at just under $34,000. The middle premium trim just under $37,500, and the top trim just over $40,000 US.
So here's the official fuel economy for this hybrid. Not as strong as RAV4, but still very good. 6.1 liters per 100 kilometers city, 6.4 on the highway. That's 39 miles per gallon city, 37 miles per gallon highway. This CX-50 hybrid can tow 1,500 pounds.
So that's a first look of the Mazda CX-50 Hybrid. We hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for our next review with driving impressions.
When is that, Andrea?
November 12th.
You don't need to remember that. All you need to do is subscribe. You'll get notified, and we'll talk to you then.
Thanks for watching.